Hello, and welcome to the CMS 1500 form completion for blocks 14 through 33 of Medicare. Now, just as with private payers and the basics, not much is going to change in the lower portion of the CMS 1500 form. Most of the information is going to change up in that patient information or the insured information. There are a couple small things that we will note as we go through each of the blocks. So block 14, we are still going to use the date of illness, injury, or last menstrual period. Make sure, once again, if you are using last menstrual period, to put the qualifier 484. Otherwise, we are going to be putting qualifier 431. Now, one difference is with block 15, this will always be left blank on a Medicare form. Block 16, this would be if the patient is unable to work. Remember that the due date is the last day they are unable to work. Block 17, nothing will change with this. We will just make sure to leave block 17A blank with that MPI number of that referring physician going into 17B. Now, block 18, this is where we would put the information if the patient was hospitalized. Block 19 would be left blank. This is once again reserved for NUCC use. Block 20, we would mark if an outside laboratory was used. If the answer is yes, then make sure to put the charges on the right-hand side of the block. 21, this is where we will put that diagnosis code. Okay, make sure you put that ICD indicator. Almost everybody should be using ICD-10 CM, so the indicator would be 0. And then fill in the ICD codes A through L. In this case, we have I-10 for hypertension. Block 22 will be a resubmission code. On the left-hand side is where we would type the resubmission code itself. On the right-hand side is where we would put that reference number for the original claim that we sent in. Block 23 would be the prior authorization number. With Medicare, you will need some prior authorizations. Do not forget to fill out block 23. If you are required to have a prior authorization number and you do not fill in block 23, the claim will be denied. So it's very important that you make sure this is filled in. Now, blocks 24A through 24J, there's not too much difference with Medicare. We're still going to put in 24A the from and to dates. Remember, if the patient is just in there for that one day, we do not need to fill in the to dates. Block B will be that place of service, 11 for office, 21 for hospital. And block C, we are going to leave blank. Okay. 24D, this is where we're going to put all of that HCPCS and CPT codes. Remember that evaluation and management code will be the first one, followed by all the additional codes in the order of charges, or column 24F. If we need any modifiers, we'll put that in the second half of column 24D. And then 24E is once again linking that CPT code with that ICD code. In this case, we only have one ICD code, so it's going to be the letter A, representing that office visit and that EKG was because of the patient's hypertension. Column F is going to be found directly on that scenario, and it's going to have all of your information for the charges, and you literally just put the charges in here as needed. Remember that double dotted line represents your decimal place. Okay. Then letter G, we always need to make sure we have the units in there. So we are going to put 1 if there's no quantity. If there is a quantity, then we would put that number in that spot. H will be left blank. I will be left blank. And J, we will put in that physician's NPI number. Now, block 25, once again, we are going to be filling in either the EIN or the Social Security number. This, 9 times out of 10, will be that EIN, so make sure you mark EIN. 26 will automatically be our patient's account number. We can put that punctuation in there. 27, this is once again if they accept assignment. If they are a participating provider with Medicare, they must put yes in block 27. If they are a non-participating provider, they do have the option of marking yes or marking no. Block 28, this is going to be the total charges, so just add on column 24F. And if the patient paid anything towards that visit, you're going to put this in block 29. Now, 31, it's going to be exactly the same. So this is where we'll put the physician's provider's credentials and name. We can use a stamp if needed. And then block 32, this would be if we have, once again, if the facility is different than the billing facility. So if the patient was in the hospital. However, in this case, we are using the office. So once again, we will leave that blank and move over to block 33, which will be the clinic's information. Don't forget to put in that MPI number for that clinic. It is different than the physician's. Next up is Medicaid.